a bastard, orphan, son of a Stark and a Targaryen, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in Winterfell.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bastards! Hey!
Hi.
Wow! I'm Sophia. My name is Sophia.
And my name is Carly.
Yes!
Yeah.
And
so excited.
And this is You Got God, a Game of Thrones podcast.
A Game of Thrones podcast.
Where we talk about Game of Thrones. And sometimes A Song of Ice and Fire.
That happens.
Actually, that happens a lot.
It's important.
We talk about A Song of Ice and Fire a lot.
We should.
Because it's amazing.
Because it's great.
We're waiting on Winds of Winter, George. Okay? Come on now, man. But yeah, today, we're talking about season 6.
Baby.
What?
Sorry.
Okay.
Let's talk about
season 6? Yeah.
Yeah. See,
let's talk about
you just did that.
Baby. Let's talk about you.
season 6.
Okay. We've already sang that song on the podcast once. We are talking about
God.
season 6, episode 9, Battle of the Bastards.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I thought you were going to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, so I'm glad I didn't.
No, I didn't do that. I've
So
done that
close.
before.
So, dun-dun-dun-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Whoa.
Whole new level.
Wow, you are crazy. Yeah, this was quite an episode.
It was alright.
It was okay.
It's,
It didn't just get a 10 out of 10 on IMDb.
it wasn't the most expensive episode they've ever done.
It wasn't the most beautiful episode they've ever done.
It wasn't fabulous.
It was amazing.
It was amazing,
watching
guys.
this episode was really it was having an experience. I mean, this was a
Yes.
cinematic experience that I've never had before. I've never felt so a part of that battle.
No, I totally agree. I mean, this is like the standard that Game of Thrones and HBO really like set itself up to, and I mean, it's living up to the expectations that set us all up. It set us all up for way back when it was still new.
Yes.
And amazing.
In terms of content, I would not say that this episode was the strongest that Game of Thrones has ever given, but in terms of like prowess and beauty, this episode skyrocketed.
I would very, very strongly say that this episode had the most beautiful cinematography in the entire show.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Oh my god. I mean, the battle scenes were incredible. It took 2 months for a reason.
I felt like I was there.
Yeah,
When
When
Jon was being trampled by the wildlings, I got claustrophobic.
Yes.
I felt like, and that's never happened to me in Game of Thrones before. There are certain shows I've definitely, like, there's a scene in Vikings where they do a blood eagle on someone. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Carly's gonna look it up right now. It's gruesome. Anyway, but I felt so in it and a part of it, and that was just so cool. Like, Jon was gritty and messy and gross, and everybody else was gritty and messy and gross, and Tormund won by biting someone's jugular out. Like, that is the type of battle that you want to see, and they said they based it on the Battle of Cannae.
Yes.
Which is really... Cannae? C-A-N-N-A-E. I believe the battle between Hannibal and the Romans, where they did the exact same thing. They blocked the army in, and Hannibal just like, you're dead, you get a death, and you get a death. He's the Oprah of death. He's the Oprah of death. That was Hannibal.
I wish we had known. That'd be a great serial killer name.
I am the
Oprah of death.
Yes, I felt that there were definitely parts of this episode that were rushed. The Dany stuff all felt extremely rushed. There was 11 minutes of it tops. Like, there was not much content.
It spared no time. Like, I mean, literally the episode started and it was immediately like, oh, here are dragons, and here's a bunch of crazy
dragons
stuff
are
happening.
out.
Your dragons are out. They're there, and it's like, oh wow, we're just starting with a battle. That's great.
Yes.
So it started like that, but also then the Greyjoys were just there. I mean, there was no lead up to them getting there.
I agree. It had Dany and Tyrion, right? And Tyrion gets let off easily, which I don't think anybody expected.
We should actually, that was really huge to me because in that scene, he not only kind of gave Dany the same sort of warning that Barristan had given her, which is like, calm your shit, like, you're gonna be your father.
You just referenced Barristan.
I know, I did it for you. And for the people listening, but mainly for you.
My heart.
Barristan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kyle would be so proud.
Kyle should give us a shout out on Twitter.
Yeah, Kyle.
When he listens to this right now.
Do it.
Anyway. What was I saying?
Dany.
And
yes.
Tyrion.
So,
Tyrion, yes, just like Barristan, he gives her the same warning that Barristan gave, which is basically like, calm down, you're becoming your father. But also, it was amazing when she walked in, she was like, what's going on, Tyrion? And he was like,
I screwed up.
This is the deal. I'm sorry, I messed up. And there was like a pause where I was like, oh, she's going to throw him into the Drogon's mouth. That's going to be great.
He's going to be meat to the dragons that have been underground for so long.
He's going to be
the ones that he trained.
He's going to be like what the hounds were to Ramsay. Like, that's what the dragons are going to be to Theon. Oh my god. Well, maybe. But
maybe.
We don't know. To Tyrion.
You never know.
But, I mean, the fact that she was kind of like, all right, like, let's figure this out. She's willing to work with him, and it gave Tyrion a reason to be alive.
It really did. It fed, you know, we talked so much about how Tyrion has sort of his story is done. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is why Tyrion is there. He is there so that he can tell Dany what the audience is thinking. Because we were all like, man, I'm not sure. She could be going down the direction of her father. We're all really nervous. And he outright says, your dad was crazy, and I'm worried that you're turning into him.
Just like Barristan did.
And I think and he doesn't, and obviously Tyrion didn't know Rhaegar, and Barristan had that. He was like, well, I knew your brother, so he wouldn't be meh. But it's really interesting.
That's right. He warned about Rhaegar.
Yeah.
But still, same concept.
Same concept. I mean, anytime Dany gets reminded that her family, of who she is, you know, she's reminded that she actually had this family in Westeros that had a name. And she's got to go back and prove that she is not her father. And that's going to be one of the hardest things. So Tyrion putting that in her mind right now is probably the reason she joined up with the Greyjoys.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. And speaking of that, she and Yara, there were some looks.
My newest ship.
Oh, yes.
I boarded the SS Dinara.
Oh, it's great. Oh my god.
I wish her name was Asha, because it would be Dinasha.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
I don't know why I put an N in there. Dayara.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Oh no, Daenerys. She's got an N in her name.
There's a lot of options. Or Daenerys.
Ooh, that sounds like a body part that you don't want to go near.
It sounds like a removable one that we were left with. Like,
I lost my Daenerys way back in the war.
Are you an old woman? I lost my Daenerys.
I lost that Daenerys.
You kids these days.
With having their Daeneryses.
Yeah, you don't appreciate your Daenerys.
I really ship Yara and Daenerys. Bottom line. It's nice because Emilia Clarke even said, like, bring on the ladies. Who's Dario? We don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, because Daenerys is she's good with the ladies.
Hey ladies, there are so many to flower. Lady. Okay.
Yeah,
she got me into Hamilton. She finally did it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my. Yeah, it's been foreshadowed. I ship it. I do,
and I am so glad that I don't know how Theon and Yara made it to Volantis so quickly.
No one does.
But we also don't know how much time has passed between, you know, I guess maybe time works differently in the free cities than it does in Westeros.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, time I feel like goes a lot faster in Westeros, I'd say?
Slower, I would say.
Slower,
I would say slower. But I mean, but I'm glad because I'm on board with Team Daddy Issues.
Yes.
Honestly.
Team Daddy Issues.
That's what I call them.
I like it.
That's who they are.
Hashtag
they are Team Daddy issues. Even though Tywin, we love him and he did no wrong.
Well.
You're like, well, that's your opinion.
I respect and appreciate your opinion.
I wish my friend Happy Father's Day and sent her a picture of him.
Oh, God.
Gotta keep him alive somehow, people.
Just like that is the way.
But I thought it was great how she dealt with the Masters, too. I'm really appreciative of her taking the time to listen to Tyrion and being like, yeah, you can kill a few of them.
Yeah, well, they worked together as such a good, cohesive team.
They did.
Oh my god, and I don't think we've really seen that.
When Grey Worm kills the two, and then he fixes his jacket, and then Tyrion just goes, now you get to go tell your people what happened when Daenerys Stormborn came to Meereen. And I'm like, that's teamwork!
Oh my god, it was teamwork. I was so hot for Tyrion in that moment. I was like, yes!
I was hot for Grey Worm.
I mean, yes.
Jacob Anderson, the way he just, he didn't even blink. I mean, that's the unsullied way, obviously.
That is
to not blink when you're murdering. But to see Grey Worm smile in the last episode, and then, kill some people.
Yeah.
Very sexily.
Oh my, that double throat slice. Clean.
I didn't know what he was gonna do, but when he did that,
oh my god,
that's all he could have done.
There's literally nothing else that would have measured up to that in any way.
I loved all those scenes. I just wish that it hadn't been condensed so much, because the Battle of the Bastards obviously didn't need to be the whole episode. There wasn't enough content at all to have filled an entire episode, but also I want to see Dany get to know her team. And I loved seeing the dragons break out.
Oh my god,
seeing the babies. The babies are reunited with their mom, Viserion and Rhaegal.
I was intensely turned on by that scene.
I know.
I was like, this is my sexual attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's your sexual orientation?
Dragons. Blackfish. Oh.
Good.
Thought it was a rhetorical question. Wasn't a rhetorical question.
It was like a
you were not asking
1, 2, 3,
me.
say the same thing we didn't, but we respect each other's choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, seeing Viserion and Rhaegal join their brother in the sky and how small they were compared to him.
Big now. Drogon. Okay, time moves differently in the free cities now. Drogon is sexy. He's the sexiest man.
CGI I have ever seen.
Oh my god. Well, maybe besides... No, even more so than Smaug, I'd say.
I would say...
I know, that's tough. It's hard.
But that's because Benedict Cumberbatch was...
Yeah, Blandy Stick Cumberbatch. Yeah.
But no, but then Broomsticker Patch.
Banana Bump. I can't even... Oh,
okay.
Good.
Alright. Sorry, Benedict Cucumber Patch. I mean, Cucumber Patch. That was an accident.
Benedict
Sorry, his voice as Smaug definitely did things to me. My friend was like, "Do I need to leave you alone now?" When we watched it, and I said, "No, but thank you for asking."
Yes, that is
we'll
very
do
respectful.
That later.
But really, though.
Anyway, but I will say, it's nice to not have dragons talk. So it was nice to sort of just see them fly together. He was saying that he did it so that they would flit in and out of screen, and he would cut it so that it looked like they were bigger than they are. The director, Miguel Sapochnik. He was saying that the way he framed it, I don't know, I just thought it was so good. I don't even have to finish that sentence because it was just so well done.
It was beautiful.
The dragons were beautiful, and I can see why they spent so much money on that episode because it was worth it.
Oh my god, it was so worth it. I mean, the scene, oh my god, one of the scenes with Drogon, I think it was the end of last season, when Dany first rides him, was good, but there were kind of things in the CGI where it was Drogon looks a little fake, his face is kind of weird, there were some certain things. Everything looked so real in the scene. It was gorgeous.
I completely agree. And the way that they only hurt one ship was really cool, and then only 2 masters died. That was also really cool.
Only 2 masters died, and I mean, this is a $10 million episode, literally and figuratively. I mean, they spent their money in the right place.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Here, I just found the thing about Miguel. I wanted to read it out loud. He says, I also pushed through the idea of allowing the dragons to constantly break frame. That is to say, framing slightly smaller than the actual dragon is so that it felt more like wildfire on the fly photography.
Wildfire?
These things should be big and it's fast. And fast, it's hard to keep up with them. So
I
really agree. I mean, it felt like they were real.
Yeah, it did. And that's how this whole episode felt. Everything was visceral. Mm-hmm. Everything put you right there in the episode. You felt like you were in all of the action the entire time.
Absolutely. Great. I just wish it hadn't been so rushed.
I know, yeah.
But it had to make way for the epicness that is the battle, literally, the battle of the bastards.
Literally. Or, as you call it,
the Bastard Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't get a Clegane Bowl.
No, we get the Bastard Bowl.
It's better.
Ish.
Kinda.
We kind of went in knowing what was going to happen, but that's fine.
It's
I've never predicted a Game of Thrones episode so well before.
Well, and that is the thing about this episode is, like you were telling me earlier.
It's the most beautiful episode, but also the most predictable. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the most accurate quote I've ever heard about this episode.
Thank you.
It's dead on.
Yeah. So what I did like is how much power they gave Sansa in this episode. The girl has gotten back her agency, and that was my biggest issue with this whole this last season as a whole was just the removal of Sansa's agency. Mm-hmm. It was like, nah, you don't get to choose who you are. You don't get to choose where you go or what you do. And this episode, she chose to be there when Ramsay rides up and Jon and him have that first conversation. She chooses to be there. She's the one that ends it. She's like, I'm done toying. I'm done letting you toy with me. You're gonna die tomorrow, Lord Bolton, sleep well. Oh. And she leaves, and you're just like, oh my god. So Sansa completely, totally took this episode.
Oh, she slayed. She absolutely slayed. She was like she was the Lady Stone of my heart.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say to that. I'm just gonna drink this.
We'll probably get Lady Stone
too. This mixed beverage.
Beverage.
I was really so during the scene with when Bolton and Snow were facing off, or when John is like, let's do a trial by combat or whatever, a one-on-one battle.
Yeah.
I really wanted, after Sansa said, you'll die tomorrow, sleep well, I wanted Lyanna and Mormont to show up, to just go, oh, and then mic drop Sansa at the end, and because John and Ramsay are just having a Minds Bigger contest.
Oh, they were totally laying on the table.
To show up.
the ladies. Yeah, Lyanna Mormont, man.
She stole the episode with that one stink face of hers.
That one...
People freaked out.
Oh my gosh, she was just like, yeah.
She did so well that my mom leaned over and was like, who is that?
Because
I watched it with my mom. This is... the first time my mom ever watched a Game of Thrones episode with me, it was The Reigns of Castamere.
Oh my god.
Which I was in fetal position on the ground for afterward. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, Mom, I'm not. And then I listened to The Reigns of Castamere on repeat for 10 hours. But nice. So and then she watched The Watchers on the Wall with me, and but this is her first time, sitting down with me, really involved, and we watched it, and she thought Lyanna Mormont was awesome. She's like, who is
Lady
that?
Power.
Who is that incredible girl giving Ramsay Bolton the biggest stint face I've ever seen?
The biggest stink face. And she's 9?
Gotta
and
be.
She, oh my
12.
god.
I think she's 12.
12, okay, yeah. But she basically taught us all how to walk into battle looking confident as shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. And then, I going back to Sansa, and my problems with her, not with her, but with Jon in this episode, was that when Sansa tried to tell Jon, hey, I'm the only one that knows Ramsay, and you're not even listening to me. And then Jon goes, okay, I'll listen to you. And then she tells him, he's crazy and he plays games, and then all of that just...
Yeah, Jon is very pretty. He's very pretty.
Thank God you're pretty.
Thank God he's pretty. Because that's about all he is. He's a good fighter. He stood his ground in the battle. But when it comes to actually, using his brain...
He's all brawn.
He's all brawn.
He's no brain. He's all brawn.
He's all bran.
You know who's not all bran? Is Rick. I tried.
He's not all brand. He's on brand as being an idiot. On brand is very much him. Yeah. We're a little loopy from this episode.
So Sansa yells at Jon, and Jon doesn't listen. No, Jon doesn't listen, and Rickon is collateral damage because of Jon's not listening. And that would be a bummer, but Rickon, just like Ramsay and Wun had a bullseye right in the middle of his forehead, and he didn't zigzag. So I'm just going to call that natural selection at best.
Literally, we have seen the natural selection of the Starks, and we know which ones have made it, and they're not even really fully Stark. Jon is a bastard, and Sansa, let's be real, has always been more Tully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's Catelyn.
It was
the conversation. The conversation that she had with Jon is the exact same conversation that Kat had with Robb in season 3 when they're or season 2 when she's like, we have to go to war because they have your sisters and they killed your father.
Yeah.
She's like, they have our brother, and then she gives up on Rickon. As quickly as we do. That's my favorite thing. During the conversation she has with Jon in this episode, when she showed up initially, she's like, they have, at the watch initially, she's like, they have Rickon, we need him. And now she's like, no, just forget him. He's dead.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was very much oh, we're so sad. No, he's sad when he was a baby.
No, because, it was Jon needed to be affected by seeing Rickon die.
Which, that was heartbreaking. I will say, I was really affected by that, too, just because I wanted to see him and Rickon reunited really badly.
It hurt me that Rickon, even looked like Robb.
Oh my god.
I don't know how they did it. They made his hair reminiscent of Robb's hair, and and so he looked like Robb, so it was like a little Robb was running across to Jon, and then it gets right there. They're so close. Yeah. And then the arrow.
Well, that's what's so sad, is that they were so close to reuniting. They were
it's just
feet away.
It's the way of Jon Snow and his brothers. Even in season 2, 3, when Bran is at the windmill and Jon is fighting the wildlings right below.
Oh, yeah,
that's just, Jon just tends to miss his siblings.
Jon misses a lot of things.
Jon knows nothing.
He has lived up to his name of knowing nothing.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't.
Because he knows nothing.
He literally knows nothing.
Yeah.
He can fight, don't ask him to know anything. Because he won't.
Sorry, kid. Yeah, but seeing Rickon die was really hard. Not because... No, it wasn't hard. I wasn't even phased. But seeing his body get shot with a bunch of arrows after he was dead...
that was horrible.
That was awful.
That was awful. That was just cruel.
That was just... Oh, my God. I was like, ooh,
well, they
that's
killed
dark.
all of our hope. I feel like it was a response to... I'm sorry. I think it was a response to Stannis a little bit. Because they were like...
What are you talking about?
Because when they showed him get stabbed with the...
You never saw him get stabbed.
You never saw it. Exactly. But with this, people could still be saying, like, oh, Rickon was only hit by one arrow, like, maybe
Rickon then got trampled by all of John's forces. And
yeah, they just
Bolton
trampled
forces.
him.
And then somehow his body's okay at the end.
Of course. All the horses missed just him. Like, oh my God. There were a couple oversights and stuff. There also was a gif. I was going to show you this. There's a gif of John. Yeah, John's getting on his horse, and the sword in the prop sword that he has is completely rubber, and you can see it flopping around in the background. And one of my coworkers said, "Oh look, it's Valyrian rubber." Or no, maybe it was on the gif. I don't know, but Valyrian rubber. Valyrian, the finest in all the land. Oh yes, yeah. There were some oversights. It's fine though.
I appreciated John going to Melisandre and being like, if I fall, don't bring me back.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, obviously, John hasn't had a reason to live up to this point, if you really think about it. And when it's that part where he's talking to Melisandre about it, and she's like, well, I have to, you're, the Lord of Light, essentially. You're the Azor Ahai reincarnate, I have to. And he's like, what kind of God would bring me back only to have me die on the field? And she's like, the only one we've got. And then John almost dies on the field.
Yeah.
And he has that moment where you think he's going to die, and then he's like, no, I have to fight. Because he's got something to fight for.
Right. This whole season, we've talked about this before, it's a complete rebirth season. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it really, this entire season has kind of been a rebirth of last season, kind of making up for what they did wrong.
Absolutely.
A lot of the notes they hit were the same notes. Like, this is the hard home of last season. I mean, it was kind of a similar setting. It was another giant battle.
It's the same director.
Same director, exactly. Like, so same feel too. Last season ended with Dany riding off on Drogon. This season has her coming back on Drogon. Like, I mean, this season hit so many of the same notes, but in a better way. That rebirth has been a very, very strong theme of this season in the show and just overall.
Well, yeah, if you consider all the characters that have been rebirthed, we get Jon at the beginning, Sansa, you could argue has been rebirthed, Dany has been rebirthed, Tyrion has been rebirthed.
The guy with the hound, what's his name?
Septon Ray? What?
The
Brotherhood of Banners have all been rebirthed. Yeah, Thoros of Myr, Beric Dondarrion. The Hound has been rebirthed. Arya's been it's a total season of rebirth for sure.
Everyone.
And so it makes me nervous for next season because it feels like there's not a theme.
Right.
Except for the next what?
I think this is them kind of almost not rebooting the show, but kind of rebooting the show to make it their own rather than based on the books. Mm-hmm. So I think this is the transitionary season of, we're staying true to the style of the show and the books and the story, but we're going to be going in our own direction. Mm-hmm. And so let's kind of, do our own thing, but also kind of rebirth the show.
Yeah.
To make it their own.
Yeah. It's great. I appreciate it a lot. I wish they didn't do as many, like killings as it. This season was very bloody. In terms of characters that, we loved and just saw and then got killed, like Osha, that was really sad. Rickon is really sad. Shaggy Dog is really sad. Yeah. I mean, even Dorne, Trystane, Doran. We've forgotten about Dorne, but I'm saying, in terms of, it's really been easy with the kills.
They literally killed off Dorne.
Lady Crane, all these characters have been killed off, and it feels very, it doesn't feel sacrificial, it just sort of feels like, we're cutting loose ends.
Yes.
They're cutting loose ends to boil it back down to what Game of Thrones is supposed to be.
Which is good. I mean, they're burning off the, kind of nasty
parts.
Burning
the midnight oil.
They're burning them. I don't know if that's...
Burning the wildfire oil.
Yes. We'll go with that. I like it.
But, bum. I agree. It's definitely been rebirth. Even Kit Harington said that the shot of him coming up in the Trampling Wildlings is very reminiscent of season 3 when Dany is being lifted up in Misa in season 3, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's parallels, and it's like, I don't think that it's about, I think what it is it's showing that Jon, just like Dany, is a very strong person, and if Dany is coming over to Westeros to take over, then maybe Jon is the one that has to fight her. Yeah, maybe Jon is the only one that is strong enough to take on Daenerys.
Yeah. I'm thinking that more and more, too. And it would be really cool to see that. I mean, that would be a song of Ice and Fire. Mm-hmm. Very nice, Ice and Fire.
I also really want Yara to usurp Theon as being a main character. Oh. Because it's sort of what they're pointing at. They're sort of like leading up. Theon is like, I don't have anything to give. Yeah. And Yara's like, I have everything to give.
Oh, Yara does have
everything to give. So I almost wonder if Theon is going to die pretty soon. And Yara's going to, Theon is going to get killed by Euron, maybe. And Yara is going to have to pick up the mantle of the Greyjoys. Yeah. And become a main character.
I do hope that that Sansa gets to see Theon before he dies.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I would like to see him as Theon again.
I would like Theon to see the Starks in Winterfell again. Yes. Because it's sort of his fault that the Starks left Winterfell, and it's by sort of, I mean, it's completely his fault.
100%.
Yeah, we hate that. But he has also been reborn.
Yes, he totally has.
So it's like, I would like to see Theon and Sansa now. Yeah. Not as victims anymore. They're both survivors.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They survived the same man, and he's now... Yeah.
And now he's dead. And I want to see Theon's reaction to Ramsay's death.
I know. I don't know what it's going to be like, actually.
I think he'll just cry.
Yeah, I think he will too. He's kind of there.
But not in a bad way. He's just going to cry out of relief. Like, it'll be beautiful.
Well, that might be when he can die. Yeah. To be honest. Like, that might be what, not kills him, but lets him be.
But lets him, go rest.
Exactly, yeah. He's absolutely. Like a tortured soul. Literally.
He's a tortured soul. You know who else is a tortured soul?
Who?
Davos. After finding Shireen's toy.
Oh my god.
I did not sign up for that. I did not sign up for that pain. No.
And that shot with the sunset? Oh, God.
And right after such a good conversation with Tormund. Yeah. I loved that. I love seeing two characters that might not necessarily get along building a relationship. Yes. It's all about convergence. I love seeing characters that might not necessarily be friends sort of become friends and sort of, or allies, like Yara and Dany. Yes. And Tyrion and Dany. It's very interesting to me, and so I love that we finally got to see Davos and Tormund have their own scene together.
It was cool.
Of course, it's followed by a very emotional scene where Davos finds the stag that he made Shireen.
Which was a bit of a convenient find, I'll say. Yes. Like, this episode was very much about convenience. So, like, I'm not putting it down.
All over the place.
Oh my god, yes. Like, not putting it down, because I'm not gonna lie, like, when the Vale showed up, I was like, oh my god, this is or Knights of the Vale. Like, I was like,
well,
yeah,
you
this
forgot they were coming. The way that the episode suffocated you enough to the point where you forgot.
Yeah, by the way, don't mention it or anything, Sansa. Don't tell anybody that you sent for them. Like, don't talk about it.
I think she has her reasons, and I think we're going to learn them later. Mm-hmm. I also don't think that it matters. Jon doesn't care. He's not petty.
True.
And
but
maybe
just a warning.
Well, he didn't know how long the Vale was going to take to get there. If she had told him, he'd be like, true. Okay, but I have to fight this battle tomorrow. Yeah. And if he had waited, it might not have turned out the same way, right?
That's true.
I think that Ramsay sort of needed to be pushed to the point where he believed he would not fail.
Yeah. And he was.
He falls so hard, and that's why they didn't have Sansa tell Jon. I mean, it's for the TV show. I don't think it's necessarily for storytelling. Like, it's not for their story. It's for us.
What's going to be interesting actually is seeing, because these scenes were not in the books, right? I don't know. Okay, like they weren't, or they
no.
Okay, so I want to know how that's going to be different in the book and how it's going to measure up.
Well, Stannis is still alive in the books, so. There's that. That's all I'm going to say. Because I don't want to spoil anything else.
It's going to be interesting to see, though. Like, usually it's about comparing the show to the books to see if the show measures up to the books. And now I think it's going to be, will the book measure up to what happened in
every faith in George R. R. Martin. I do. I just want to get the book, and I want to read it. Because I haven't really read many chapters from Winds of Winter. I'm not interested. I want to read it all as a whole, but I did read a Theon chapter that had Stannis in it, because I was like, for the episode where he burnt Shireen, I needed to, like, build a reasoning for why he wouldn't actually do this, and why he was just driven to it, because I hate Melisandre.
I know he's your prince. He's your prince.
It hurts. But yeah, Stannis is still alive in the books, and he's with Theon, actually. That's a convergence that happens there. Well, he finds Theon after Theon jumps from Winterfell without Sansa. Sansa's not even a part of it.
Yeah, that wasn't even...
She's still with Littlefinger.
Oh my God.
Point. Yeah. I'm interested to see what he's going to do in the books, too. I'm interested to see how Ramsay Bolton bites it. I'm interested to see how he does Hodor's origin story, because he said that it's canon. I mean, all this stuff that I want to know.
Oh, he did say it's canon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, he said it was canon. No, I thought this. I liked this episode, but it makes me nervous that they're playing into this predictability.
Well, here's the thing, and I was thinking a lot about that, and it was. I mean, this episode, it kind of catered to. I don't know if it catered to fans so much as it did to just watchers of the show who really wanted something good to happen. And it was predictable from a normal TV standpoint, but from the Game of Thrones standpoint, it actually kind of broke the pattern, because the pattern has always been that in episode 9, horrible things happen. And, Rickon died, but at the same time, nothing horrible really happened.
It was actually a very positive episode.
Which is scary. I was kind of I don't trust it. What else is there? And then it ended, and I was like, no, I just feel pretty good.
I feel pretty good.
It left me smiling.
The Starks are back in Winterfell.
The Stark flag flying again.
Which, I mean, I liked that shot, but I wanted it to be more grandiose.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like a mini flag, too. It was like a banner.
I mean, I know that's all they have at this point, obviously, but, if we're gonna suspend all disbelief that the Eyrie showed up in the nick of time, I mean, couldn't they have a beautiful banner that just is flying and beautiful? And I mean, I don't know. I think it was a little ridiculous, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
No, I know the cat attacked you, but not attacked you. He attacked you with his love.
He was just like, hey.
He reached up and touched you.
He did. My soul.
That's cool for you. Hi, buddy. Okay, good job. All right. But yeah, I think what was I gonna say? Oh, I loved. Okay, the one thing the only time I can ever equate the same feeling was when I was watching Lord of the Rings. The battle, so when Jon is all claustrophobic and you're feeling really stressed out because you're like, I don't know, Tormund might die, Davos might die, anybody could die at this point in time, and then the Eyrie Knights of the Vale show up, and it was like when Gandalf and the Knights of Rohirrim murder all the Uruk-hai and Helm's Deep in Two Towers. It just, with Karl Urban riding on his horse, he's so hot. Oh, gosh. I love Karl Urban.
He's the best.
He's so attractive.
He's a good-looking man.
Get him in Game of Thrones.
Yes. Oh my God, that'd be
please. Great. Okay, got producers.
Listen.
Karl Urban.
Karl Urban.
Anyway, I thought that cinematically was beautiful. The way that they rounded that curve, and Ramsay, the look on Ramsay's face, he's just like, oh, okay. Oh.
Seeing that look, that was better than Ramsay's death to me. It was just seeing him kind of break and seeing his whole thing fall apart.
Yeah. I think I blacked out, because after the Knights of the Vale came, I was like, okay, all right, I can breathe again, and I think I blacked out because of how great it was. It doesn't even matter that we all saw Ramsay's death coming, because to me, it was executed perfectly. Oh, yeah. Jon beating the crap out of Ramsay and then realizing Sansa is actually the one who has been so deeply affected by this man, to let her choose how to kill him. Oh. Not only kill him, but to let her decide.
Yeah.
To let her have the last vote.
So good. And I will say, it was annoying how all season, we knew how he was gonna die. And I actually, that was also part of the predictability that I think is totally forgivable in this episode, because we all knew he was gonna die. Mm-hmm. We didn't know how Jon was gonna win, though.
Yes.
And, we didn't know how the battle was gonna go down. We didn't know how it was gonna look.
We knew the Knights of the Vale would show up.
We knew that was gonna happen, yeah. That was a little too predictable. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the way that it played out was really, really beautiful. And I think that was I don't know, it was a unique way of doing a battle in Game of Thrones. Or anything. Even the,
you didn't like the dogs.
I didn't dislike it. It was just they mentioned it at least once an episode.
Well, and that's why that's why I think it resonates so much, and why it's the only way that he can die, because it's his real weapon. Obviously, the dogs are the pride of his life, and he kills everyone in that way. So the only way that he can die is by his dogs. Otherwise, the dogs would be rendered inert. They wouldn't matter.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy that happened. I just kind of wish that they had, like, cut his dick off first or something.
That would have been amazing.
Right?
Theon. I wish Theon could have gotten to cut his penis off.
I really wish. That would have been... Oh, my God. That would have been so good.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Missed opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep him alive long enough so that Theon can see him.
Just to cut off his dick.
Just to cut off his dick and then kill him. Feed him to the dogs.
Exactly. Feed his dick to the dogs first so that he can watch that happen.
Yeah.
And then push him in there.
There's your manhood and there's your man.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Your little Ramsay and Ramsay.
Little wee Ramsay.
Oh my God. Wee Ramsay.
I have to say, big ups to you and Ryan for creating a character. I mean, obviously they wrote him, but he breathed a different life into Ramsay that in the books just it does not feel the same way.
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, no, because you've got this guy that is so inhabited this role. And I've seen you and Ryan, and he's in Misfits. He plays Simon, who's this really awkward teenager who doesn't know how to talk to girls, doesn't know how to talk to people. He's socially inept. Like, he really can't, and he gets I think he gets the special power of invisibility, which just like, because it shows his inside, he's really insecure. And to see that guy become Ramsay Bolton and just make a character that you hate, but made you cackle at the same time. I mean, all his murders just made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, God, what a character. And I'm going to miss him.
I am too, and I'm really kind of nervous for what comes next because
begs the question, who?
Yeah, because I mean we had Joffrey for a while. We thought he was the worst, and then Ramsay came along and it was like, oh my God, he's the worst. They keep one-upping their, I guess child villains.
I don't think they can ever top Ramsay.
I don't know if they can.
They got lucky. They got lucky with you, and they got lucky with that character. I think that they're alluding to Cersei being the next major villain.
But we know her. Like, we know that, I mean, we know what she's been through. And
maybe Euron?
Maybe
Euron is gonna find the dragon horn.
That would be
the dragon wind. He's gonna find the horn, and become the villain. That would be cool.
I'd be cool with that. Yeah,
that would be. But there's also this part of Ramsay that I think, and this is what he mentions when he says to Sansa, "There's a part of me that will always. I'm a part of you now." He's never going to fully die because of that, and I don't think it's because she's pregnant.
I think she might be pregnant, but not because of that line. I think just scientifically she might be pregnant.
Possibly, but it's pretty hard to get pregnant. I mean,
that's true.
It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's also not the hardest thing in the world. And he did rape her a bunch of times, and it would be really sad. And I don't think that she would love... She might love that child. I mean, yes, she would love the child. It's her child. But I think that's too easy.
And
I don't want to Sansa pregnant. Yeah. I don't want to see Sansa pregnant. She's finally hit her stride, and to throw a baby into the mix, that just really screws it over.
I don't want to see her go through any more.
I think she lost the innocent part of herself when they got married and when he took her. And that void has now been filled by what Ramsay has done, and I think that's what he means. Is he will leave a lasting impression with her for the rest of his life. I don't think that last season Sansa could have watched as dogs ripped someone apart, even if it was Joffrey.
And she smiled.
I mean, she does watch Joffrey get choked. No, she doesn't. She gets pulled away. She gets pulled away. She doesn't even watch Joffrey die. So I don't know. It's just very.
Well, she was always whatever Littlefinger said. She's always been just like a pawn, just watching things happen and having things done to her, and pulled from one direction to the other. And now she's kind of like just taking the reins and being her own leader. And she really hasn't done that before. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that this was Sansa season, but I'm excited to see what Sansa's gonna do next because of this newfound that Ramsay is a part of her. He will always be a part of her. Yeah. He screwed her up so badly that you can't push that away. You have to accept that and then turn it into something positive. And I think that's what she's gonna do. Oh, yeah. And I think that's not what he meant, but that's how she's gonna take it. That's what that smile at the end was. Yeah, he's dead now, and I'm alive.
Exactly.
And I am the survivor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Work. Looking for a mind at work.
Sansa.
Arya. No, it would be...
And Jon. The The Stark siblings.
Brandon. It would be Brandon. Sansa, Brandon, and Arya.
And Arya.
And Arya.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah. No, so what I guess I will say, and this is my biggest problem with this episode, normally Game of Thrones relies so heavily on shock value.
Yes.
And now I think we're done. The episode is amazing, but like we've talked about the plot. I think the plot.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of plot.
There really wasn't. It was like Mad Max, where it was like, oh, it was great, but like the plot was.
What happened? The plot. It's like in The Force Awakens, where they had all the information they needed, but they had to do this whole thing to learn about themselves.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think my problem was Game of Thrones tends to rely so heavily on shock value and not knowing what the audience believes to be true. Like, it will always say, haha, no, you're wrong. Like, with Rickon actually being a hostage and Shaggy Dog being killed by the Umbers, that sucked. We were like, oh man, that would have been so much more interesting, right? But I think my biggest issue with the predictability was that we all knew who was going to die from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
We knew Rickon was going to die, we knew Ramsay was going to die, we knew Wun-Wun was going to die. And everybody else survived, technically.
Yeah, I mean...
Obviously, there are a lot of dead bodies, but...
Yes.
But then, if you think about it, like, Tormund is the leader of the Wildlings. They haven't fleshed out any other characters, so they wouldn't have killed him off. Davos is the voice of reason. He's the only voice of reason. They won't kill him off. Jon has already died once. He's not going to die again. And if they killed Sansa...
Oh,
like, I'm waiting for them to be like, oh yeah, Lyanna Mormont actually died in the last episode, and we just saw it off screen.
I was kind of curious about that, because they don't... Do they show her at the end
No, but she wouldn't go into battle.
No, that's
true. She would stay at the camp.
Yeah,
for sure. True. But I'm just, like, I'm expecting that. Because of how many people didn't die.
Yeah, yeah. And, I mean, I don't know, like... It's tough, because I think it was really predictable. We knew exactly who was going to die, and who was kind of going to make it to the end. But I don't know if that's because it was truly that predictable, or because we figured out how to figure things out in Game of Thrones.
I don't think so. They could have done so many things to make that episode not predictable. In fact, let's play a game.
Okay.
Let's play a game called How to Not Be Predictable in Game of Thrones.
Perfect.
Here are the list of things that I came up with that would not have been predictable and that would have either horrified me or made me go, ah!
What would it have made you do?
I love this show.
Good.
So sorry about that. Lyanna Mormont delivers the final blow to Ramsay Bolton. I know, but
it's true, yeah.
Jon and the Wildlings actually winning without needing the Erie's help.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Rickon
zigzagging.
It's all he needed to do. It's all he needed to do.
Deus Ex Machina crap. There was so much Deus Ex Machina, like Hand of God type stuff, right? Where Davos finding Shireen's stag. Like, what if a man had been like you know, wildlings were like playing with, like, found it, and they're like, I found this over in a pyre, or in rubble, and he's like, what is that?
That would have been really
Give me that. Why you can't have that? When the men are fighting, maybe, or something like that. The Umbers turning on Ramsay Bolton right as the battle starts.
That I also actually kind of expected, though.
Oh, I did not expect that at all.
Oh, I wanted it to happen.
See, I knew. I was like, no, Rickon's dead. Rickon's dead meat. The Umbers are not to be trusted. Like, I didn't see that. Or the White Walkers showing up, and Dolores Ed is one of them, because they've already taken over Castle Black.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And last but not least, what if Sam had shown up with Heartsbane?
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
One of those things could have happened. I don't know if you have any. You might have some.
Mine was mainly the zigzagging. Because that bothered me to no end.
But they could have done so many things. So many 9th episode worthy things.
I will say, one thing that could have happened, Littlefinger could have died.
Littlefinger could have died.
Died.
He'll die on Sunday.
Oh, I bet he will. Yeah.
Or in the first episode of next season.
Or next season at some point. Yeah, because... But I mean, like, it would have been cool if he showed up and he was like, I did this for you. And then...
She's like, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. And then just stabs him in the heart.
Dies.
That would have been awesome.
But
who would command the veil then? Who would command the veil then? It would be
Sansa.
Robin Aaron.
Oh, never mind. We don't want him.
So we don't want him in charge.
Nobody wants him anywhere.
But I don't know, it just seems like even basic things, like Jon's sword gets taken by an Umber.
Yeah.
And then he has to fight back for it. Like, anything could have just been cool. Like, Rickon gets brainwashed by Ramsay. Now I'm just spitballing here. Because Ramsay can brainwash people. He did it to Theon.
Yeah, that's
what if
his
he
thing.
had brainwashed Rickon? What if when he drags Rickon out and is like, go run to your brother, Rickon's like, no, you're my master.
Or he runs and then tries to kill Jon.
Oh my god, he brings out a thing and then Jon is like, no, and then kills his brother.
Has to kill him. Oh my god.
Anything like that could have been that.
That would have been, I really wish that happened now. I really wish that happened.
Guys.
Crap, you guys.
Now I'm just disappointed.
Man, we started on such a high note.
I know. That's what happens with this.
Yeah.
With Game of Thrones, that's what happens. But
Game of
anyway,
Thrones.
I'm just saying, those are just some random things I came up with. Could have been easily, the episode didn't need to be predictable. And then they were saying, well, we gave them the death of Ramsay. And I'm like,
no. That was going to happen anyway.
Sansa got the death of Ramsay. Yeah. We knew Ramsay was going to die at some point. He was didn't born need to die in this episode. No. He didn't need to die.
No.
In fact, I would like to see him as his empire has fallen. I'm not done with Ramsay yet, and I'm bummed that he's dead.
I didn't think he was going to die in this episode. I thought he was going to ride off on his horse.
Now, how not to be predictable? Don't kill off Ramsay Bolton. And have Theon chop his dick off, and then kill him.
That would have been so good.
That would have been great.
That would have been amazing. Man.
Missed
Y'all
the target. Missed the bullseye.
Yeah.
So that brings me to, what do I want to see next week?
Oh, God.
What do you want to see next week?
The Tower of freaking Joy. The Tower of Joy is the only thing that will bring me any joy.
It's been 84 years.
I did my waiting.
84. No. 12 years of it. Oh, I love it. In Azkaban. Oh, God. I just watched that movie.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Still as good.
That was
great
movie. Just a good movie.
Alfonso Cuarón. Why didn't he stay as the director for the?
Should have.
David Yates. David Yates was the next director.
He was great. I don't even know his name.
Great, but I just.
He made a good dragon.
He did make a good dragon.
He made a good dragon.
That was a good dragon.
Yeah,
that's the best part about the 7th movie, I would say.
That's the only part I remember fully. And the mermaids.
Harry Potter and the extended camping trip. Okay, so anyway, Yes, I agree. I agree. I would love to see the Tower of Joy. I want to see R+L=J. We deserve it. Yes. We've waited this long. They said that the Tower of Joy is going to be in it. Or apparently, there's music that they posted that's the Tower of Joy music. So I think we're going to get the Tower of Joy.
They troll, though. I'm, scared that they'll be that the music is going to start and be like, do you remember when? And then it's like, hold up! And, someone comes in and, snaps Bran out of his vision or something, and then it's going to be like, you know what? I swear to God. I'm done. So that would be great. I would also love to see... What else would I like to see? What would you like to see?
I'd like to see Lady Stoneheart.
That was my next one. Yep.
I mean, if we're talking about trolling...
And rebirth.
Both
things.
Who is the perfect rebirth character but Catelyn Stark?
Oh.
Who we haven't seen in 3 seasons.
Because she did. But maybe not.
And with Beric Dondarrion still alive, the only option is for her to come back. Well, David and DB, please, just give me Lady Stoneheart.
Because if they don't, that means that they've brought in all of these episodes purely to troll. And that's a waste of time. It's a waste of,
just mean.
It's mean, but it's also just a waste. And it's kind of just kind of a dick move.
Yeah. I would also, I would love to see Davos getting just desserts for Shireen.
Oh my God. How do you want him to deal with that?
I would like him to kill Melisandre.
Yeah.
I'm tired of her.
Yeah.
I don't care that she's their source of, connection to the Lord of Light. I'm done with her.
Yeah.
She kidnapped Gendry from Arya.
He's still rowing.
He's still rowing. She killed Shireen. She brought Jon back, but did she really? We don't know. She was the conduit, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, to me, it's not a thing. I'm not into it. So I want her to die. There's a theory that, by killing her with Longclaw, Jon is going to create Lightbringer, which is the sword that Azor Ahai used in the Long Night to defeat the others.
That'd be awesome.
There's a theory. I think that would be really cool, because it does play to the prophecy that he is, the prince that was promised.
Yeah.
But the name Azor Ahai has never been mentioned in the show.
Oh,
so who knows? I'd also like to see Bran facing off with the Night's King.
That would be dope.
Or Bran at all. Or the Night's King, you know?
Bran, I think, is in the next episode. There was a picture.
I'd love to see Mira.
Oh, I'd love to see... You mean Jon's probably sister? Because...
I mean Jon's twin sister.
Yeah.
I want to see Benjen.
Oh my god, I want to see Benjen so bad. Benjen needs to be in the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Dany heading off to Westeros.
I just want to see the dragons again.
Yara riding on a dragon.
Stop.
I
Yara and Tyrion, oh my god. Oh my god.
And then Theon's just on Yara's back. He's like, no!
Oh no!
Yara's like, yes!
Yeah, Yara's like, rise.
Come. Yes. So, you brought some theories to the table this week.
I did. It's not so much, a theory so much as it is just a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I thought was really kind of cool about the Dany scene was the eyes that she was kind of giving Yara. And that scene was so packed with, like, a really kind of awesome sexual tension. Oh my god. There was some eye sex going on. It was so serious. But at the same time, like, the face she was making, she looked high on the conquering that she had just done, and the kind of like entrance she had just made back into Marine, and how she retook it. Like, she looked high on it, and it's great. Like, I'm glad she's a conqueror, but
makes you a little nervous though.
Well, that'll make 2 seasons, I think, in a row. Yeah, 2 seasons in a row where she's been warned, be careful, you don't want to be like your family. Yeah. And I don't know that she is strong enough to not fall into the Targaryen trap.
Well, that's the thing, you know, they flip a coin every time a Targaryen's bored. Will they be mad or will they be good? We don't know.
Yeah.
So far, Dany has been goodish.
She's been controlled to a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now she has the right guidance that it could actually work out quite well.
Yeah, and it was promising that when she came back to Marine, when Tyrion was like, I screwed up, there was that pause, like we talked about before, where it was kind of like, oh, she's gonna kill him, and she didn't. She listened to him instead, and that was kind of like that was a huge turning point in the show. Like, I don't know if anybody else has been talking about that, but like that to me was like the biggest turning point this season. Yeah,
absolutely,
like
100%.
Especially for, I mean, obviously that.
It's a changing point for Daenerys, and it's really good to see her change in a positive light, maybe.
Hopefully.
A theory that I was trolling Reddit a little bit, just because, you know, Reddit's a thing. And this is a theory that was put forward by user Full of Shit. Sorry, children, for that swear. But essentially, he says that Jaime, obviously, is going to go to the Freys at the twins, and they're going to celebrate, and then Jaime is going to actually hear that the Starks have retaken Winterfell. Bless you! My cat just sneezed.
Oh my god, it was adorable.
That was so cute.
Cool.
Okay, anyway. So Jaime's going to he's going to hear what happened to the Starks, or what happened to the Boltons, the Bolton army, and he is going to realize that the Freys suck, and he is going to kill Walder Frey and the other Freys in the room, look at Bronn and be like, hey, remember how I made a promise to you about giving you a lady and land? Here you go, a Lannister always pays his debts.
What if they had, like, a red wedding scene, but with the Freys?
I would cry with happiness.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I would cry with happiness.
Oh my god.
Please, I will give that the highest beard rating of all time.
What would be the highest beard rating of all time?
Davos.
I don't know why I asked.
Is it even a question at this point?
It's not.
Davos.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, I would love to see Jaime destroy... Well, Jaime's got to destroy something in the next episode. And I don't think he's going to get all the way to King's Landing. I think King's Landing... I think Tommen is going to die, probably.
I really hope he does. I'm going to be honest. I hope he dies. I hope I'm done with Tommen.
I think we're all done with Tommen. Evil, I'm ready for Marjorie. Maybe Marjorie will kill Tommen next week. Ooh.
Yeah. I want Cersei to kill him.
So now that we've got all that out of the way, Carly, I'm interested to know what your beard rating was of Battle of the Bastards, of the penultimate episode of season 6.
Oh, no pressure.
No pressure
on this one. I'm gonna do like a major throwback and say Khal Drogo beard.
Khal Drogo.
Yeah, because it wasn't like the fullest beard, but that braid though. I mean, he had a full braid going. It was like the back of a person's head on his face.
Hell yes.
And that's glorious.
I'm not gonna be as nice because I'm really proud of this one.
Do it.
I'm giving it a Peter Baelish because it's just not as good as you think it is.
Oh!
As he thinks it is. Sorry.
That was
not as good as he thinks it is.
I give that beard rating a
Davos?
A Davos. I give it a Davos.
That is the highest beard rating,
It's the
besides
highest.
maybe Tormund.
I was gonna maybe
That
give
you
it a Tormund beard.
I mean, he did bite Small John Umber's jugular.
which is awesome
And
and
kill
crazy
him.
because Brienne bites off the hen's ear or something.
Yeah, it's
So
me.
bites off something on it.
Tormund and Brienne. Hey, if Jaime dies in the next episode, Tormund... Great.
He's got a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
So that's what you're saying, huh? There's a chance.
There's a chance.
So Carly, how can the dear listeners find you on various social media websites?
You can find me on the World Wide Web of
On the
of
internet.
Tomorrow World on the internets. It's what the kids are using. You can find me there at on Twitter at Chillin555, which is CHILLYN 555. Thank you. And it got hacked today, but it's fine now. It did. There was a lot of porn on my Twitter today.
How did I miss that?
Because somebody changed my name too, so it was crazy. Just look out for that, you guys.
She's
on your
apologetic.
Twitter.
It wasn't her.
It wasn't me. I don't post weird
I would
stuff.
never judge you for that, though.
I mean, I post weird stuff, but not porn weird. Just stuff about candy canes and weird. Anyway, yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CHILLYN555, or you can find me. I'm the writer at Threadless, so you can go to the Threadless blog, and I am I'm the main writer there. So yeah, you can find me there. It's my house.
Lovely. You can find me at Commander Tully. Commander as in Shepherd, Tully as in Catelyn. One word. I tweet occasionally. And you can also follow the podcast on Twitter at YouGotGotPod, where we use exclamation points in our tweets.
We do. Think of it like Brienne is talking to Pod, and she goes, "You got Pod."
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
So overall, we really enjoyed this episode. There were ups and downs, highs and lows, but that's how it is in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and in life.
And in life. And that's the way of it.
And on that note, the night is dark.
But full of Davos.